السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا اغفر لي ولوالدي وللمؤمنين يوم يقوم الحساب برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. وصل اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأتباعه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين. آمين. Now, inshallah, we will just start studying the verse. Now, to appreciate the value of this verse, we have to imagine that we are in a society that there is no concept of belief in the hereafter. There is no concept of the fact that this world is a transient being. It is just the world that we live and we die and everything comes to an end. That is what understood in the society. Now, we may think that we don't believe in such thing. We believe that this life is going to come to an end and there will be an eternal life afterwards. But that's what we heard. That's what we hear. Do we really believe and do we really live like this? So we have to listen to ourselves and also refresh our understanding, maybe confirm it if we are satisfied with what is described or how it is described in this verse. We will listen to the verse for ourselves, but at the same time know that this kind of verse speaks to human nature, any human nature, any human being. So I am one of them. Let's read the verse and see what it says and how can we relate the content of the verse to our personal lives. Now, who would like to read? Yeah.
إنما مثل الحياة الدنيا كماء أنزلناه من السماء فاختلط به نبات الأرض مما يأكل الناس والأنعام حتى إذا أخذت الأرض زخرفها وزينت وظن أهلها أنهم قادرون عليها أتاها أمرنا ليلا أو نهارا فجعلناها حصيدا كأن لم تغن بالأمس كذلك نفصل الآيات لقوم يتفكرون.
The English translation. Somebody? Right. But voice up.
The example of the worldly life is like a water which has come down from the sky, so it mixed with the plants of the earth from what mankind and the livestock eat. Then the earth takes its shape and becomes beautiful, and its inhabitants think that they have mastered it. Then our judgments come by night or by day, so we make it a wasteland as if it never prospered by the yesterday. It is such that we clarify the revelations to a people who think.
Now, this verse is the preparation of our mind to understand the verse we are going to study. It's just a preparation. No harm. No. This one. Okay. Do we feel that the worldly life, when we come to this world, we are young, we are a baby, we grow and we become young and we become strong. Exactly, it is described here. The worldly life is like this, that the water comes down from the sky. It means rain comes down from the sky and everything starts blossoming, flourishing, and the earth becomes really alive, and the people and the animals, livestock, they benefit from it. Then it becomes a beautiful. What is important now? Pay attention to. It is inhabitants think that they have mastered it. They have mastered it. What is the contradiction here? What's wrong there? Why the Quran, the verse says that the inhabitants of the earth think that they have mastered the earth.
They're wrong.
Sorry?
They're wrong.
Yeah,
They're
okay.
under sort of an illusion or the false impression that they've mastered the earth because they're on it and their scope of vision is so limited. They're unable to zoom out and see that the earth does not exist because of them, and they're just not. It's, I think, because the inhabitants or the human beings on this planet have such a limited scope of vision, it's very easy to delude yourself into thinking that you are master of this world.
Now, one aspect of the matter is what you said. I think we can look at the verse from another aspect. Let's try.
Maybe just because the fact of that everything at this point, when the water comes and makes the earth alive, and that the earth provides everything to humankind, that we just feel like it's an acquired thing, to the point where we've mastered to have livestock and to have everything that we need to survive and to live, that we actually forget the source of it, which was the water that came down, that actually made all of that alive and available for us.
It wasn't me. It wasn't us. It wasn't us. It was if there was no water coming down from the sky. And another point, in our life also, when we may not be farmers, of course, we don't have to be. When we acquire everything we need, according to us, most of the things we need, what we think, I am fine. You know, how are you? Good. Everything is going well. No problem. As if I have mastered the world. Your point is, this is not. I don't think that the verse says you have mastered the sky and the earth altogether, the globe of. No, I have guaranteed my life.
Yeah, you've mastered living.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what? Yeah.
So, what we do in our life, we feel the same. If everything is fine with me, if I have everything that immediately I need, what do I feel? I have mastered my life. But what is missing here? You pointed, and also Sarah, yeah, Sarah pointed as well. It wasn't me. I wasn't creating the plants. I wasn't creating the livestock, animals. I wasn't arranging this world. Nothing I was arranging. Everything was given to me, prepared to me. This understanding is very, if you like, effective in our life. We think that we are doing. We think that we are preparing. We think that we are managing our life. We think that we are doing that. But we never notice that, pay attention, that we cannot create anything. We cannot really manipulate the world. We just obey what is already there and accept and receive what is given to me. Do you get it? Not just what is given to me. For example, when everything is fine, when I am healthy, I don't think that I am blessed. I am given. As I am healthy, only after having some problems, then I start questioning. And then when I start questioning, this is very important that I always bring the subject to our attention. When I start questioning, I remember God. I remember God, what? Why God gave me? Why did God give me this? Why doesn't God help me? Now, just a minute, before you have to stop and think. Before you were healthy, before everything was nice, everything was going well, did you say that why did God or has God given this to me? This is a very important point. I repeat this on various occasions because this is the missing point. When my ears hear, I have a question. I'm fine, I'm okay. I master my life. When I have an infection in my ear and I start having problems with hearing, what happens?
You remember God.
I remember God now. Either criticizing him or saying that, please God, give me my healing or healthy life back. If everything goes okay in the social life, I'll come to you. In the social life, let's say that the people are not having any problem with the administration, for example, no one says that this is a blessing from our Creator. When something goes wrong in our social life, now I'm expanding the personal life to social life. In our social life, let's say government or the people on the top, politicians, let's say, started harassing us and doing something wrong, maybe declaring war or killing people. What we start saying? Why does God allow these transgressors, these people, to harass or to harm the innocent people? That's when we remember God, usually. So if something happens, let's say horrible things happen, calamities happen, where was God to help? Why God didn't help? Why God didn't stop? Now we remember God as an agent. When everything is fine, I am mastering my work. I think this is a beautiful description to ordinary people, to everybody. Look, when God takes care of everything, we are happy with it, and we declare or we claim that we mastered our life. Yes.
So when things are going well, it makes me feel uneasy sometimes. When things are going well,
Yes.
and everything is fine, I have a sense of unease.
Unease.
Yeah.
In yourself.
Yeah.
In your own feeling. Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure why. It's like everything is going well, and I'm a bit unsettled by the fact that everything is going well.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure where to take that.
So how would we take, or would I take this?
Yeah.
So why? It depends on you. Why do you feel at ease? Why don't you feel at ease when everything goes well?
Not sure.
Now, my understanding, if I were you in that position, I would say, when I don't feel not at ease, if everything goes well, what's wrong with my attitude? Why? Because it is the lack of acknowledging or recognition of the blessing coming from the absolutely merciful one. He gives you, welcome it, thank for it, praise him, rather than feeling at ease. You can correct very easy. Just remember that if everything is going right, this is from the Creator. As this verse, the beginning of the verse, first part of the verse explains, when we send everything in the perfect way that human beings expect, what they do, rather than acknowledging the grace of God, blessing of God, they attribute it to themselves and say, we are successful. We are mastering our life. We are doing well. We are not doing well. Everything is given to us. So, how are you? I am doing well. No, you are not doing well. Yeah, you are not doing well. So, we say, okay, bye-bye, take care. I cannot take care of myself. These are the languages that we are grown with. So, I cannot take care of myself. Only the Creator of this universe can take care of me. One. And I am not doing well. I am given a life which makes me feel happy. And I am happy with the one who gives it. I'm not doing it, do I? Can you do anything for yourself? Can you guarantee anything in your life? Can you really hold it? I don't think so. So, you wanted to say something, would you still want to? No, not interested. Okay. Then our judgment comes by night or by day. Our judgment comes by night or by day. What does it mean? What does it mean? Anytime. It happens anytime. So we make it a wasteland as if it never prospered by the yesterday. What does it mean? Use your human life. Think about it. It never prospered by the yesterday. It's a very interesting concept that the Qur'an introduces to us. Now, even yesterday, it's gone. You know, every time we think that our life is, we have a long lifespan, but if we really think of our life seriously, we understand that whatever we had until now is gone. And what will come, we don't know. We don't know. So what is the verse saying? Anything can happen to us anytime. We cannot really control. We have no power over our life at all. So anytime we have to think that it is gone. But usually people think about it when they get old and when they are about to die. That's correct as well. But it is one moment in our life. Generally, we should be aware that everything is going or leaving us as if everything is gone by yesterday. That's what I understand from it. Because we should know that. We should know that we cannot bring the past. And also, anytime, not necessarily that I have to die to understand. I don't have to die to understand. Think about it right now, you will understand. For how many years we have been living in this world, and what happened? It is gone. It means we cannot sustain anything in this world. We have to acknowledge this reality so that we will understand for the future, what am I expected to do? What am I going to really concentrate on? Even tomorrow, I will live. Let's say I'm not going to die, okay? And I will live tomorrow, but still tomorrow also will go. I cannot keep it in my control. So it says that we make it a wasteland as if it never prospered by the yesterday. It really goes away and I cannot keep anything. We may think that we are keeping until we die. Let's say you had the most luxurious life last year. What happened? What happened?
It's gone now.
Gone. Yeah, you don't have to die. But when we die, it is over for us. But when we see the people who die, we really see it and definitely confirm that this man has nothing now. Although he may be the richest man, doesn't matter. This man has nothing now as far as the worldly relationship, where the properties are concerned, nothing. We witness it. But in reality, we don't have to see the people who are dying or who have just died so that we experience, look at ourselves anytime we can spot it.
How about memories?
Sorry?
Memories.
What? For example, you had one of the towers of this Manhattan.
Yeah.
Okay? Until now.
Yes.
You have the memory of it.
But
But what's gone?
But good memories could good memories could bring back good feelings.
So what are you going to do with the good feelings since it is gone? Now, if you attribute it to the one who blessed you with his absolute grace and he sustains everything, you can, I can. This memory is good to be thankful to him and trust him. Trust him that it is not me who is going to protect or sustain the good life that it is given to me, right? It's not me, but the Creator can. He is absolutely, who has the absolute control over everything. So this memory is good for connecting the life and connecting the bounties of God to God. But we have to understand, inshallah, we have to understand that everything is gone by the yesterday. It's such that we clarify the revelations to a people who think that is how do you notice that the teachings of the Quran is so simple? Doesn't make anything complicated. But we have to just think about it, reflect on it. It's not difficult at all to think of the teaching, whatever the Quran teaches us. It is very simple. Quran doesn't make anything complicated, but if you want to understand the details of teaching and go into your life, personal life, which has the human beings have endless feelings, endless different human qualities. How am I going to use them? How am I going to utilize them? Then you have to pay attention to the detailed teachings of the Quran. Otherwise, to take the direction, do we understand? Which direction should I take? For example, should I be thankful to the Creator, or should I just ignore and see what I have obtained in this world and what am I going to obtain even more? To be greedy and attribute the results to myself. Which one should I do? One principle. I'm sorry, but don't forget your question or comment, whatever. One principle. It is the methodology of the Quran. That's an important principle. Wake up. Be careful here. It is the methodology of the Quran. It always presents the case in its extreme forms. Do you get it? Now, we can see it here as well. Everything is created by God, and human beings can do nothing. And everything is under the control of God. You cannot control anything. You have no power over anything. So a description of the hell is the worst case scenario. Description of the paradise in the Quran, do you notice that? Is the best scenario. Description of the unbelief, how horrible it is, the worst scenario. And believers, the best people. Just look at the real life. I may claim that I am a believer. I'm not the best person. Do you understand? And you can see that a person may say that I don't believe in any religion. He's not the worst man. Why do you think it is so? That is principle that I'm taking your right. That is a principle of the teachings of the Quran. We have to make sense of it and we have to use it. Benefit from it. Why do you think Quran doesn't give a description in between? The hell is always in the description of the Quran. How? Unbearable, impossible. Impossible. Anybody may say that, but it's okay, I can endure it. No. And paradise also is described in the Quran in a way that it is the unimaginable best place. So iman and kufr also in the same proportion. The unbelievers are the worst people in the world. Believers are the best people in the world. That's how it is described. Why do you think?
Because we are creating opposites.
Yeah, we are. But what is it to do with this principle of the teachings of the Quran?
Well, if we're creating opposites, then that is also an analogy to the opposite that we're being.
But I am in my practical life. If I am a believer, I am not the best man in the world. If I am a denier, I am not the worst man in the world. You see what I mean?
Yes.
Why the Quran describes everything in extreme forms? Yeah.
I guess to sort of attract our attention to what are the principles that make this a very good thing, and what is it that makes this a very bad thing, to make us contemplate about it.
Yeah. So Okay. Yes, please. Speak up. Yeah.
It could be in the sense that whatever, even though the believer is not so-called a great person, but whatever goodness they do, they attribute it to God, or they attribute it to their Creator. But in the sense that the non-believer who does a lot of good, whatever goodness they do, maybe they attribute it themselves, and maybe in the eyes of their Creator, that are too big distances or too big extremes.
Excuse me, you stated perfectly, but my ears and understanding. So did you get it? Did you get what sister said?
No, I have to.
Did you get, who can help me? Who can help me? Who understood that? Did you? No. Sorry?
I'll repeat it.
So, yeah, maybe more articulate and loud. Louder.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what I was saying is that maybe for the believer who might not be seen as the greatest person, but he or she stated as the greatest person, it might be, this is just my opinion, it might be that the believer, even though when he does good, whether it is little or let's say if he doesn't do much good, but when that believer does good, that believer attributes it to that goodness or to God or his Creator.
What you said, as you said it in its frame, it's correct. But I benefit from it a lot because by definition, the Quran is the speech of the Creator to give guidance, means direction. This way, this way. This is what I mean? Direction. But as if the Quran says, if you take this way, you end up where? In the best place, paradise. If you take this way, you end up where? In hell, the worst place. So both extreme ends are described to show that to human beings, to readers of the Quran, which way you would like to take. This road which goes to this end, or this road which goes to this end. Do you understand? That is guidance, that is giving the direction to the readers. That's why people don't understand that why Quran has many frightening descriptions of hell, God's punishment. What people expect the Quran to speak in a mild language. With the mild language, we don't understand because we have to take the directions. Did you want to talk? Yeah, you want. But
Yeah.
Before that is Sarah. And then please keep your
I come back to the verse before actually. So we make it a wasteland as if it never prospered that day yesterday. I was wondering if maybe that also applies to natural disasters. You know, how say, for example, you'll spend your whole life building a house or, I don't know, creating, constructing things, and then all of a sudden there's a tsunami, there's a hurricane, there's everything as if it didn't even exist yesterday.
Now, look, I respect your comment, I respect your point of view, right? But natural, we call it natural, it's not natural, okay? Divine ordained calamities, disasters, we call them calamities. Quran says they are not calamities, they are good for you. That is something else, you're right? Now, of course, we call them calamities and we don't want them. But it doesn't happen every time. And I don't take notice of it every time. When something happens, let's say there's an earthquake, Everybody talks about making the buildings strong and taking the precautions, etc. 1 or 2 years later, life goes on in the same way again. Yeah, all the sensitivities we developed, consciousness we developed, disappear. So we have to understand, to me, we have to understand this kind of descriptions not on specific events. Even when you read the Quran, you see that the narrations from the previous tribes, how they rebelled and how they destroyed, different kinds of ways of destroying their lives and cities and towns, whatever they build up and they trusted. What does it mean? You don't go and see the 1 or 2, 3, 5 tribes and the remnants of their ruined places. But this is again another example that, look, you will be one of them one day if you do that on the spot. When you don't, because most of the descriptions of the tribes which are destroyed in the Quran, mentioned in the Quran, because they disobeyed the Prophet, right? So it tells me that right now, if I disobey the Prophet, I ruin my life. But it may not seem to be, but my human life, human qualities will never ever have any happiness, felicity, serenity, satisfaction. If you don't disobey the Prophet, you start what? Developing your own interpretations. What is good, what is bad. And you miss the divine guidance. What happens? When you miss the divine guidance, you start interpreting your life according to your worldly life, limited conditions of this world, and you start building a new future in terms of material life. And you forget about eternal life. You forget, or we forget about the purpose of our existence in this world in order to get to know who our Lord is, and so attribute our life, our existence, everything to the eternal source, and say that it belongs to you, I trust you, I'm free. Because I'm not going to do anything, I cannot create anything, so I trust you and I'm free. So these are, as we study, as the time comes, then the verses come, describing the situation, we will refer to our practical life right now. Not necessarily that we have to go to the Dead Sea in wherever it is, Jordan or Palestine, to see the remnants of the people who were destroyed. So what? When they come back 1 week later, we forget about it. Okay, your question.
Yeah. When we talk about the two extremes, best case scenario, worst case scenario, are you saying the logic behind that in the Quran is that to avoid ambiguity, to avoid vagueness, basically?
Yeah.
Because I've always had been a little bothered, or I don't know what the right word is here, but by sort of those descriptions of hell, and so the purpose is to just avoid ambiguity. What would had it been different, what would the consequences have been?
Because, if you like, this subject to be studied now, because in reality, there is one right and opposite is wrong. Is there anything in between, right or wrong? The typical example, 2 plus 2 makes 4. Anything other than makes 4 is wrong. No in between, which is, according to the teachings of the Quran, which is also reasonable for us to understand, there is no in between belief in God and non-belief in God. There is no third way. Right and wrong. Quran describes the case related to your comment black and white terms, in black and white terms. Do we notice that? But this is for teaching purpose. Direction, still, there's a good point, what you said, but still I say that Quran doesn't really describe a harsh treatment of God. It's not the point. If you deny, you fall into the wrong side, and the wrong side takes your human feelings to this end. Direction is important. No one reaches the end. Either side, in either side, no one reaches the end. No one can be the best man with no flaw in his life. Not the worst man, he has no good at all. But these are the directions. So the directions, as you said, that's an addition, thank you, makes the case black and white, pure, no gray area description. We need that. So when we read the Quran, when we try to apply the teachings of the Quran to our lives, what are we going to notice? It is teaching with the direction. So in our practical life, what we do, we follow everything in gradual development. Whether we go to the right side, gradually, we go to the wrong side, gradually. We don't change suddenly. So this gradual process needs time. So direction, turn this way, walk this way, you will end up there. In reality, you won't reach there. So in the description, Islamic literature says the paradise has endless degrees, hell has endless degrees. Do you get it? Why? Because as we go, we will develop, and we will make some sort of progress in the right or wrong way. Accordingly, we will have a position. For example, typical example, you go to the preschool, and then let's say elementary school, high school, and leave the school of this life. You are a high school graduate in whatever the direction you took. Is there any way, is there any end in any kind of learning? No. Is there any way, is there any end in any kind of development? There is no end. That's why Quran makes the extreme descriptions.
So practically, in theory, these are the two extremes, but practically no one's really reaching them.
To the end is not important, direction is important. So take your lesson from the teachings of the Quran and make your decision which direction you are going to go. You cannot change one day.
Yeah.
In one day. So it needs time to make the progress, but which direction are you going? Every moment you make either this way or this way. This way or this way. It means either we are right or we are making a right decision, right choice, or wrong decision, wrong choice. What happens at the end? Black spots, white spots, black spots, white spots, and we have a gray played or slide at the end. But that's why Quran says, we will judge according to your good actions and bad actions. We make the balance. We will balance it. We will weigh. Which one is better? So that is a very relaxing news, actually. We fail. I fail. I don't know about you. I fail. I know that I should be like this, and it is ideally, but in practical life, I'm not. I fail. So, of course, one asking for forgiveness. It means repentance. Yeah. That is one thing. Another thing, yeah, I did a mistake now. I should not repeat it. Yeah, I should not repeat it. So that I will carry on my progress. So, for example, during the year or the semester, how many, usually practically, how many tests you take? 2, 3, midterm, final, etc. And you are given assignments as well. While you are, one of them you do, 2 of them you don't, and the teacher said, oh, you are not doing well, well, get ready for the finals. So, or your midterm. This is a practical thing that we are aware of and we are sure of. That is exactly the same how we live in this world. So we have to make our minds up to decide which direction I should continue to go. Yeah, just not intellectual understanding and finish. No, we have to make the progress in the direction. Get it?
Yeah.
Thank you very much. So, shall we move?
Mm-hmm.
Now we come back to our, inshallah, Qalam, the pen. So, the first verse, prepare the minds, inshallah. So, okay. Somebody again?
إنا بلوناهم كما بلونا أصحاب الجنة إذ أقسموا ليصرمنها مصبحين ولا يستثنون فطاف عليها طائفة من ربك وهم نائمون فأصبحت كالصريم.
Yeah, كالصريم. So the translation.
We have tried them as we tried the owners of a certain garden when they vowed to harvest it in the morning without any reservation. So there came upon it a visitation from your Lord while they were asleep. By morning it became barren and bleak.
Yeah. Can you apply it to your life, these verses? Can we? To your life right now. Talk. Say, for example, give us examples in your life. What do you mean? We tried the owners of a certain garden when they vowed to harvest it in the morning.
Like, I will vow that I won't be late for a certain thing, and I'm always late. Like, oh, the trains are not gonna be. Like, it's going to go as planned, and things don't go as planned.
No, okay, one aspect, but pay attention to the harvest. Would you like to say something?
Yeah, like you are again, you are thinking like you are in control of the matter. So you are vowing that I will harvest the crop in the morning.
It means I will harvest the crop. You are not a farmer. Are you a farmer? No. So what does it mean?
Like you are about to get the benefit of the of whatever the
So
thing you were talking
you
about.
say that I've got the job and I will be paid at the end of the month. And when I get the money, when I receive my payroll and the money is in my account, now I will enjoy. But what happens?
But then you get fired.
No, not necessarily you fired. Look, you may get fired, but be careful. Without any reservation. What does it mean without any reservation?
No warning?
They don't even think that they're not in charge of it, or it might be taken away from.
It might be.
Taken away from.
No, but to make it sure, let's see others. Let's hear others as well and see. Yeah, without any reservation is very important.
Without any reservation, meaning without reflecting on the thing itself and understanding its reality. So if you want to, for example, reap something that you have, or you want to harvest something, thinking again to the first verse, well, I did nothing to really make this grow. And so if you don't take into consideration that there's a purpose for these things, then you did not reap the benefit out of these things in their existence. Mm-hmm. So if you're harvesting something, you're not really harvesting it in its real meaning if you don't have that understanding of where it came from and why it exists.
No, getting into something interesting, yeah? All right, it's a very good start, and we're really coming to the good points, yeah.
Just to add
we will
to
work on it.
It's sort of like you don't even hesitate to think about why it is the way it is, why this good has come to you, basically. You don't really question the source of this good. You just sort of assume, it's me.
Good.
Yeah.
So what we see usually, we take the word for granted.
Yeah, exactly.
So order of the universe, they call it natural laws, are taken for granted. So without any reservation, we don't think that this word doesn't have to be as it is, and also as it is, still we are given the possibilities that we cannot guarantee anything. So if we don't acknowledge the source of anything good coming from an eternal, absolute source, what happens? We forget usually that we reduce our life to our, if you like, I wouldn't say animal life, but in reality is an animal life. We usually do it. We usually see our life as animal life. When I eat today, I think I'm full, I'm done. How are you doing? I'm well. So they say, no, would you like some? No, I'm good. You are not good. Be careful. You are not good. Goodness is given to you. You are not good. If you recognize the Creator who is the eternal one, absolute one, then your senses, your human senses, when your human senses are attributed to the absolute Creator and become aware that everything is under His control, if we don't do that, nothing is guaranteed, because everything passes every moment. Of course, something may happen, and the properties or anything we like may be taken away from us. Yeah, anything may happen. Any catastrophe may happen, and calamities may happen, but or anytime I may die. apart from this, we have to make the Quran more practical every moment for us. If I don't attribute the way you were going and you did go actually to the absolute source, we cannot sustain anything in our head. Unfortunately, it is our custom of inherited from the civilization outside world, and we go with the flow. Every one of us is obsessed by our animal life. I have to admit that. We pay attention to, for example, studying the Quran 1 hour a week if we do, but 8 hours, 10 hours a day to build up our profession in this world. Right or wrong? Generally speaking, there are exceptional people, very rare. Whether you are a Muslim, you are a Christian, you are a Buddhist, whatever, this is lifestyle of this time. If we think something is going to damage our worldly life, we forget about praying, we forget about following the prophetic pattern, we forget about the requirement, thinking of God, nothing. That's how it happens in my life. So, but without any reservation, the classical, you might have heard this, classical commentaries say, they didn't say inshallah, but that's correct, it's not wrong, but we may not be really aware what it really means, inshallah.
Yeah, because reducing Islam and faith to buzzwords like inshallah, reducing faith in Islam or whatever to buzzwords like inshallah, alhamdulillah, turns it into very like magic thing instead of there's no conceptual, no conscious decision to, oh no, I'm acknowledging the source of my, it's just buzzwords and like spells basically.
So that is correct by definition, insha'Allah, insha'Allah, if God wills, but that needs consciousness of God. So if we don't have this consciousness, this connection, it disappears. That's what happened to the people of the people or the owner of the garden. Yeah.
Just to maybe take it a little bit further. So even if they did wake up the next day and they actually, they actually harvested their garden, but just because they didn't have that awareness, it's still barren and bleak.
Look, our animal life has it. Our human feelings leaves it every moment. It loses it every moment, because whatever you are, whether you are Muslim or practicing, non-practicing, whatever, or non-Muslim, atheist, whatever you are, every human feeling knows and is aware that every moment is gone and I cannot control it. No, sister, this way. Okay, that's the Quran shows the direction. Showing the direction. So, is she turned to the Kaaba now? Has she reached Kaaba? No, but she's going on the way. This is what I'm. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Anyway, yeah. So you are right. If the only thing is, we have to think about our human qualities. And we should look for the satisfaction for our human qualities. not for our worldly life, animal life. Human qualities, the requirements of our material relationship cannot satisfy anybody. No. Because human qualities always are aware that they are going, they are living. No way to get satisfaction. So, you're right. We can without any reservation, and there came upon it a visitation from your Lord while they were asleep. By morning it became barren and bleak. Of course, even materially, they harvested the crops. They harvested the crops. Their human side, what happens? They lose it on the spot. Yeah, they lose it on the spot. Human side is aware of it. Okay, so one more. Yeah. Carry on, read it.
فتنادوا مصبحين أن يغدوا على حرثكم إن كنتم صارمين فانطلقوا وهم يتخافتون أن لا يدخلنها اليوم عليكم مسكين وغدوا على حرث قادرين.
Are you not clear?
It's just small there.
What happened? Did I make it something?
It's okay.
He read it.
Okay, English translation. It's
Sure.
yeah.
In the morning they called to one another, "Go early to your garden if you want to harvest the crop." So they went on, whispering to one another, "Make sure no poor person enters the garden today." And they went forth early, determined upon their purpose.
So now we understand. We studied, we covered that, but this underlined piece. Make sure no poor person enters the garden today. What does it mean? What do you understand from it? Which kind of feelings are going on in the minds or hearts of the people, owners of the? So no poor person will come, and what happens when the poor person comes? They get their share. Huh? They have to give something. Can human conscience stand that there is somebody who is poor, needy, and you are harvesting, he wants to take some? Can you say no? It is very hard. It's very hard. Do you understand this word now, what's happening in this world? Because personal relationship makes it almost impossible to ignore the condition of others. What are they doing now? How the civilization is changing, turning everything into institutions. There's no personal relationship, right? For example, if you go and take a loaf of bread from the store and go to the cashier and say, "Excuse me, my friend, I have no money, please excuse me, take this bread. I have been hungry from yesterday." What do you think the cashier will say?
Sorry, it's not my store. I'm going to get in trouble with Safeway or whatever.
Be careful. Yeah. Oh, let's say the cashier is the owner.
Okay.
What do you think he or she will say? Let's say a small store run by a man, and he is the cashier.
I think you'd say yes.
You will say yes.
I think you'd say
This human conscience will say,
Your human conscience will say yes.
sorry?
Your human conscience will say that's the good thing, right thing to
Yeah.
do, but
You will say
you would say
yes. Yeah.
The man would say no.
Sorry?
The owner of the store would say no, leave.
We say no.
Yeah.
Why?
Just because it's something common. Well, I guess.
No. Now speak your human conscience.
So
can you say no?
I can't say no, but if you're walking down the street sometimes and you see the way people interact with people that are homeless, it's predominantly that they would not give rather than they would,
No.
even though they had.
Think about yourself. Can you say no? You are the owner. Can you say no to this person? Huh? Yes or no?
I can't say no.
You can say. Can you say no?
No.
Can you say no to this? Can you say no to this person?
No.
The really poor and needy and hungry man took one loaf of bread and said, "Please excuse me, I don't have any money and I'm hungry from yesterday. I haven't eaten for 1 day, 24 hours or 2 days." Can you say no?
But maybe the fact that most of the time it's not necessarily, whenever we see a homeless person in the street, it's not necessarily that we want to say no to that person, that we just kind of ignore the fact that the person is there. But if the person actually
there
came
are other
to you
people.
and told you, "I'm really hungry," that would make it a lot harder.
Yeah. If you know that, but you know that you don't, they are professional beggars. Yeah. That's why you don't really take them seriously. But if you know that it's a genuine needy man, you want to say something. It is, for me, it is impossible to anyone. You don't have to be a Muslim or Christian practicing religious person. No, any human being wouldn't be able to say no. Person to person. Yeah, you want to say something.
But isn't it like what's happening in Europe? Like they see that these refugees coming from Syria or
no, this is a political issue. Yeah, you know that it's a political thing. No one is really hungry, so it is a completely different matter. So it is a political issue. You know, it is a matter of which politics this a government or any, not because a personal relationship. A person comes and knocks at your door, and you have extra bread, and this person begs and says, "I have no food. I haven't been eating for 2 days. Can you please give me something to eat, anything to eat?" Would you be able to say no? No.
There are people that will say no.
Sorry?
There are people that will say no.
But they're exceptional, but I don't think so because of this obsession.
No, there's a lot of people that would
obsession.
say no.
Sorry?
There's a lot of people that would say no.
No, obsession, for example, now everybody thinks that if somebody rings your door, knocks at your door, don't open it. It may be a trick, or these are the obsessions. But we are talking about human consciousness. For example, a man in an army aircraft takes the bomb or flies over a village, drops the bomb, yeah? And maybe 10 people, 20 people die, right? The same man, if he goes to this village, personally see the person to person relationship, and he really, for example, let's say a wounded person is there, do you think the same man will help this man? Look, we have to understand this inhuman relationship, not an inhuman relationship, non-human relationship. For example, machines. You take the thing from the store and go to the self-service pay. How are they called?
Self-checkout.
Sorry?
Self-checkout.
Self-checkout. And for example, the price is, let's say, $11. And you have $10.99. Does the machine allow you? Just 1 cent, come on. Huh? That is how person-to-person relationship is disappearing. As the human relationship and human consciousness is losing its effect in the civilization. That is called how the material, to become a materialist, becoming a materialist life, following a materialist life is overtaking the world. Because human consciousness doesn't allow, conscience doesn't allow to be harsh, to be harmful. And I understand from this verse, as soon as I read the verse, I said, this is really true. They don't want to see the poor person coming to the garden and trying to get something. It was a tradition that time, but I don't go to that tradition because we are in principle we study the verses of the Quran just in our practical life. So in our practical life, we don't go to the farms and we don't really wait for the poor people. You take the main crop and the poor people come and collect the leftovers. That was the tradition. In the how do you say, agricultural world. But it is not practical for me. It is not applicable for me. So what is applicable for me? Now I have to have a person-to-person relationship if I can. Otherwise, I will be pro a civilization which suggests, offers person-to-person relationship rather than non-personalized relationship. It means machine or institutions, etc. Because human consciousness doesn't allow to be really harsh to another person unless there is a political situation. We are talking about human nature. Human nature doesn't allow that. So these people, that's why I understood from the Quran, this we have to go early before the poor people come, otherwise we cannot stand them. We have to help them. They don't want to. Yeah, they don't want to prefer. They don't prefer to help them. Yeah.
That's also maybe because they know that they really mean that they're hungry. But how would you apply, when we have preconceived ideas, say because of what the media say, or because of certain fear, or because of something that we don't necessarily know, where we feel that that person doesn't want us good, or that person, I would say maybe like, say, for example, if you see somebody on the street that is asking for money, say, oh no, I don't know, I bet a lot of people would think, oh no, I don't know, I don't want him to go buy alcohol or drugs. Or
yeah.
Even in the media now, it's like, oh no, Muslims are taking over the world and they're terrorists and they're this and that, so they don't want to necessarily, they're not as welcoming with
no, this is a spoiled version of the world. This we are talking in real terms. How human beings are and which direction is right, which direction is wrong.
But some people will defend themselves on not helping or not seeing, being able to say no just because of those ideas.
So the civilization, the certain civilization, especially now, if we are aware of the reality, we are not free-thinking people anymore. We are brainwashed. Are we aware of it? We are manipulated. Our senses, our thoughts, everything is remotely manipulated. We don't really develop our own understandings freely. In this society, we are brainwashed. So everything is directed by somebody else to me. Now we are talking human nature. So yes, in practical life, if you go to the street, if I see somebody homeless, apparently homeless people, when I go pass by them, do I give any money? No. Why? Because I understand the background of this process, this homelessness process. It is the mistreatment of the administration of this society, and these people are exploiting it, and also drug problems, and all other a lot of political reasons behind it. Even some people say that they are deliberately kept there, yeah, to make people work for social security, etc., etc. If you don't really follow this system, you will be like this guy.
Yeah.
There are examples.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you have to obey the laws, and you have to work officially. You have to pay for social security, whatever health, whatever the system is, and also, get ready for your, until the age of 65, 70, you work, and then the last 5 years or 10 years of your life, you go to the hospital because social security takes care of it. That's it. After you're at 65 years old, why do you live? Okay. What shall we do? What time is it?
Late.
It's late, huh?
It's late o'clock.
It's late o'clock. Yeah, I understand this. So, but this was, look, with this, okay, let's not push. But what are we doing? That's the conclusion. We are trying to understand the verses of the Quran as applicable to our present life. And do you see that it is possible? Yeah. When you read the Quran, don't refer to the past. Don't refer there was a man or no. Applicable to you. Even these people seem to be farmers. Are you a farmer? No. Can you benefit from this verse? Yes, absolutely. But we may not be doing the best interpretation. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Don't worry. We are trying to develop how to understand the Quran and benefit from it for my own case right now. In my own case right now. Did you get this? We will do that because I feel this is the missing method in the community. Make it for me. Don't tell me stories. Don't tell me the conditions of some other societies which doesn't relate to my reality. What shall I do? Make it for me. I try to understand and share, understand the Quran and share it with you. Don't worry, we may not be able to make the best commentary on the verse, but methodologically, Quran must be read for practical purposes. It means your own personal life right now, and everything must be applicable to your present situation. Even there are some verses you can say, how can I apply it to my life? For example, the verse says, speaking about the Bedouins, desert dwellers, don't call the prophet from behind the walls of his house. For example, his small room. There's no prophet, there's no small room. I'm not calling him. What shall I do? Yes, it is related to Allah. Yes, it is related to Allah. Think about it. Because by definition, Quran is the speech of your creator to show you the direction, which way you should take. It must be related to you. If it is not related to you, it is not the word of your creator. So by definition, you have to look for it. That's why we don't have to go back to history. You don't have to go back to some people, some Bedouins were very rude and treated the Prophet in a very, very, how do you say, inappropriate way. Yeah? No. It is something to do with you. Right now, there is no prophetic hujra, how do you say, house. I wouldn't say house, it's a room, but a small room. It's called house. So that's why the Quran said hujurat. It's beautiful. And shout or say, oh, Muhammad, come out for us, listen to us, we have some questions. And the Quran says, don't do that, be patient. Wait until he comes up to you. So how can I relate it to my life? Think about it. It is a homework. Okay. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana innaka antal alimul hakim wa akhir da'wahum in alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. بحرمة السر سورة